some interesting new details about the Eternals and the Black Knight. Let's take a couple minutes to break it down. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and we got a little update on the Eternals. But first, get in on this month's giveaway. We're giving away a copy of JLA 1 Million. To get in on the giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber, hit like, and leave a comment. Well, we found out last week that Marvel's upcoming movie, The Eternals, has wrapped shooting, and now we'll head into post-production and probably eventually some reshoots. One thing that's been suspected for a little while now, but has remained unconfirmed, is what the main story will revolve around. Now, this was believed that it was going to be a love story set between the immortal eternal Sersi and the human Dane Whitman, who, if you're a fan of the comic books, is known as the Black Knight. The characters have a pretty long history in comics and were prominent members of the Avengers throughout the 1990s. So if you're a big Avengers fan, this really doesn't come as a big shock to you. Now, this is curious, and I'm not the only person to point this out, but if you go back and read the original comics, and I have been over the last couple of weeks, the very first one had a love story set between Margot Damian and Icarus, which now seems to be shifted over to be Sersi and Dane Whitman. Kind of curious, but might give you some ideas of what's going on, and believe it or not, it's not the actually only love story in those original books. I'd recommend you go check them out. So I added a link to them down below. At one point, Jeremy Conrad does make, over at the source of the story, that it does call into question exactly how Icarus is going to fit into this movie. When Richard Madsen screened some footage down at CCXP a couple of weeks ago, he seemed to indicate that him and Sersi would have a bit of history together in the Eternals, pretty much like they did in the comics as well. He very well maybe like the ex-boyfriend to Sersi, or if there's been some memory amnesia issues, maybe a long-lost love. But no matter what, it appears they're kind of setting up some sort of love triangle. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I was actually pretty stoked after reading the Kirby run about getting a lot of Icarus, and now it seems like he might have a diminished role with a more focus on the Black Knight. With that said, I'm a huge Black Knight fan. I actually have a replica helmet in my office, so this doesn't disappoint me at all. We'll really just have to see how it manifests on screen and how it all works out. And hopefully we won't have to wait too long to get a little peek. Since Black Widow is coming for its theatrical release in May, we might finally get a trailer and a full first look at all these characters. But I'm really curious on what you guys think. Would you be disappointed if the movie had a little more Black Knight focus, or does that add a higher level of excitement for you? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.